Hey everyone, welcome back to White Sox franchise, season number 3, this time on the rebuild. In the last episode, we did finish, I believe it was 75 and 87 is what we finished last season, I believe, a bit better than our 101 loss season from the first year. As for our team overall ranking, we started out this rebuild at 27th ranked in the MLB. Last season was 22nd, and this year 17th. We've been going up about 5 spots a season so far. As we take a look at our pitching rotation, we do have Sean Burke, Hurston Waldrop, who we traded for in last video, Justin Robreski, Noah Schultz, and Hagen Smith. And also, quick disclaimer, if you have not seen the first and second episode of this White Sox rebuild, go watch those. Playlist on the channel. Go ahead and watch through them one season at a time. See what we've done to get the team to this point, and we'll keep moving on with this White Sox rebuild. So go watch that. They're really good videos. In our bullpen, though, we do have Joey as a long reliever, Dylan Lee, Anthony Dominguez, Jake Cousins, Camilo Duvall, Gabe Spidler, Grant Taylor, and Justin Martinez, part of a big trade that we had, bringing Justin Martinez and Dylan Lee to the bullpen. As for our lineup, Kyle Teal is still holding it down at catcher for us, Colson Montgomery, Murakami, the Southside Samurai, Marcell Zuna, who batted really good for us last year, and bringing it back to the DH. We got in half out and left, Jason Mingus, who we traded for in right, Chase at second base, Miguel Vargas at third, and Luis Angel Acuna in center field. We also have Sam holding it down for us as one of our better bench players, just in case Marcell Zuna does regress a little bit. He can go in there maybe at DH or field and put somebody else at DH. Miguel Andujar is platooning against lefties with Jason Dominguez, and then Edgar is platooning with Kyle Till against lefties as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and show some prospects that I'm really excited about. Carlos Calzada, who was our first round pick last season. He did come out at a 72 overall with a potential starting pitcher, hoping he develops pretty well, along with Garrett Rhodes, 18 years old. Really great hits per nine versus righties already out the gate. He also is, like I said, only 18. He was our second round pick and also has a potential. So that's our two top prospects, along with Stephen Vargas, who is 20 years old, a 79 overall. I'm sorry if you can hear my dogs in the background. They're fighting right now. A 79 overall with a potential. He was our first round pick the year previously. He was our number 3 prospect on our White Sox team. We're holding him back one more year in AAA. I know he's already higher overall. His hitting stats just aren't really what I'm looking for just yet. I don't want to rush his development, so we are going to leave him in AAA for one more year. So if he does get hurt, he might get called up though. So that is the team. Let's get to simming, and I'll show you all any crazy trades that happen, anything like that, any moves we make, etc. Let's go ahead and sim. Welcome to season 3 of this White Sox rebuild. First big trade right here, Jeremiah Estrada, who got moved last year, I believe, from the Padres, got traded from the Guardians to the Pirates for the number 41 overall prospect in the top 100. John Diaz does have a potential 19 years old out of Tennessee. Good trade right there for the Pirates. Adding somebody, and also not a bad trade pickup right there with a potential for the Guardians as well. Wow, massive trade here. The Washington Nationals send C.J. Abrams away, one of the best players in baseball right now, 27 years old, first round pick out of, he's from Georgia actually, sent him to Chicago Cubs. He only does have 1 year remaining on his contract, so that may be why. In return, they got the number 71 overall prospect, Tom Kim, who is 21 years old with B potential, along with a 23-year-old with C potential, Aaron Estrada. Kind of a crazy trade from the Nationals, but maybe if they just didn't have the money to sign him, I don't see why they wouldn't. But great pickup for the Cubs there. All right, guys, our first couple big injuries right here. Chase, I hadn't shown just quite yet. Our starting second baseman did fracture his arm out for a couple months. Still has about a month left on that. I didn't actually bring up that prospect second baseman. We just moved we moved Sam, our outfielder, who can also play second base, let him play it. Like I said, I would like to keep Stephen down one more year before we bring him up. And then Sean Burke, this one really hurts, just fractured his arm as well, out for 2 months. He is our number 1 pitcher. He has 5-4 so far with 3.87 ERA, so this really does hurt our team with these 2 injuries. But have next man up mentality, and we'll keep simming on. Another huge trades for the Cubs right here. They add Cole Rayans. Starting pitcher, he is 30 years old. 87 overall. They just added him and Rob Zinstri, or however you say that last name. Pedro Vadillo, I guess is how you say it. 51st ranked in the top 100 prospects, a potential third baseman they just sent off, and also a Drew Gilbert, a right fielder that's 27 years old. So obviously it's mostly for the prospect for Cole. I guess Cubs trying to make a move. Along with that trade, Dalton Varsho gets sent off to the Mets, traded from the Angels. They sent 32nd ranked top 100 prospect, or Angels, I'm sorry, from the A's. They also brought in Hogan Harris, another kind of prospect for a big-time player trade. It's good trades for them. All right, guys, here we are at the 2028 MLB draft. We do have the 11th overall pick. Last season, I believe we were the 9th worst team in baseball. Had a good chance for at least a top 10 pick right there. Unfortunately, we did not get it, as the Diamondbacks jumped, I believe, like 15 spots to get the number 1 overall pick, and we dropped down to 11. We are here at the 11th overall pick. Our number 1 draft ranked player in the class and our number 1 on our draft board is still there. It does kind of scare me that the number 1 overall player has slid to 11, though, especially when that player we only have 10% scouted, because obviously you don't think he's going to fall that far to us. The temptation is to still take Ken Pear, though, just because of his rank. That being said, let's check out and see what we actually have scouted. We have Michael K.O. It's kind of cool. I know it's Michael Ko, but we're calling him Michael K.O. He's draft ranked 31st, 12th on our board. Again, only 10% scouted, though. Our scouts did not seem to be doing the best job in this one. Gregory Jansen is our most scouted player. He is draft ranked 19th, 13th on our board. That being said, we're going to take the risk here. We're going to gamble on the number 1 overall player, Ken Pear. Welcome to the White Sox. With our second overall pick, I'm a little less inclined to take Jason Mullen, as we only have him 5% scouted, and at this point we are at the 45th pick. The fact that he's fell from 13 all the way down to 45 kind of makes me want to dodge him as well, especially with only 5% scouted. Geraldo Mercado, however, is 67% motivated to sign already, 100% scouted. He's 62 to 77 overall, which is pretty high for an 18-year-old, 73 to 88 potential. So if it's in the Bs, this is somebody that could very well develop to somebody that could be on our team relatively early on, especially as young as he is. So we are going to take him with our second overall pick. Well, with our third or fourth pick, whatever it is, we end up taking Andres Chavez. Actually got auto picked, but this is one of the guys I was considering, so I guess it made the decision for us. With this pick right here, we have Chip Lambert or Trevor Burkhardt, who I'm kind of down to right here as another starting pitcher. They're both 18 years old. We do have Trevor more scouted. He's pretty much guaranteed to be about C potential here, though, where Chip does have the chance to be A or B, but we just don't have him scouted. That being said, I do think I want to take the gamble at this point in the draft, so we are going to take him. Plus, he does throw left-handed, so welcome to the team, Chip Lambert. All right, guys, with our fourth round pick, or our fifth round pick right here, we are going to be taking Giancarlo Mendoza. Not very highly scouted, but he is showing 75 to 99 potential, so we are going to take a gamble, see if that is the case. And with our last pick right here, we are going to go with Mr. Jose Pinto, I believe. I was debating between him or Pedro Santos. Jose is a lefty, Pedro is a righty. Jose has a chance for his overall to be a little higher, I guess, even though I'm sure it will not be. I guess we'll take. He has a higher chance to be good with the potential here. Plus, he's an outfielder, so we'll just go ahead and do that, despite the fact that he is 22 years old. You know what? I changed my mind again. We're going to take the 18-year-old here to close out our draft, Jose Pinto, another lefty for the bullpen. That does conclude our halfway through our season. That does conclude the draft, and that does conclude halfway through the season where we are sitting at 45 and 52. I feel like that is a tad bit better than what we were last year, but not a ton. We definitely need to start playing a little bit better. We're trying to play above 500 ball this year, and this does not seem to be working out for us. May need to look to make some moves. Let's go ahead and jump into the home run derby, though, because we do like to make our predictions if you have seen the first and second episode of this series. All right, guys, here is the 8 players participating in the home run derby. We usually just do these predictions right here just for a little bit of fun, so hopefully y'all want to play along. Go ahead and make your predictions for the 4 people you think will move on in this home run derby. For me personally, I will be taking Juan Soto and Drake Baldwin, Mr. Rake Baldwin. We'll be taking them 2 for sure. I think I'm going to take the big dumper and then Nick Kurtz. I think I'm going to take the 4 on the right side. This is actually a very good home run derby. As Julio Rodriguez, Bryce Harper, Corey Seager, and Ellie De La Cruz are all top tier power hitters. So this is a very good home run derby. Let's go ahead and see how we did on those predictions for the first round. Nick Kurtz and Juan Soto, we did get correct. Corey Seager and Bryce Harper, we did get wrong. Bryce Harper did drop 20. Corey with 18. Cal and Drake both had 16, so I missed on both of them. And then Ellie and Julio did miss as well. At this point, I will take Juan Soto over Corey Seager, and I am going to stick with my gut and go Nick Kurtz over Bryce Harper. Juan Soto also won it the first year we did this, so a chance he could go 2 for 3 out of the past 3 seasons winning the home run derby. And it is Juan Soto versus Bryce Harper. In year 1, it was Juan Soto versus Kyle Schwarber from the Phillies. So see if history repeats itself. Give me Juan Soto to win the home run derby. And I was wrong. Bryce Harper does win it for the Philadelphia Phillies. Bryce Harper is your 2028 home run derby champion in Toronto. Big trade right here is the Angels send off Grayson Rodriguez, Victor Robles, and Dom Smith. Shout out how Dom Smith's been playing this year for the Braves. For Rafael Gonzalez, number 22 prospect in the top 100 list, and also Guillermo Aguirre, or however you say his name, 19-year-old. 2 19-year-olds for some trades right here. Another big trade that happened is the Astros sent off Pablo Lopez and Ben Sosa, or however you say that last name, along with a couple of other guys for Jim Steele, the number 55 ranked prospect. Cooper, who's 27 years old, and Jesus Baez, 23-year-old. A couple big trades right there. As for the All-Star vote in the American League, I will go ahead and quickly run through these. We have Trey Savage, Garrett Crochet, Max Fried, Justin Steele, and Cody Ponce. Relief pitcher is Brady Hopkins. Justin Martinez does make it as our closer. Josh Hader, Rico Garcia, Cole Sands, Andres Munoz, and Edwin, I almost said Diaz, Edwin Ucate. I don't know how to say that name either. Cal Raleigh, Joey Bart, Samuel Bastillo, Josh Naylor, along with Nick Kurtz, Vaughn Grissom, and Travis Pizzana. Miguel Garcia, Alex Bregman, and Sam Hickman. Corey Seager, Bobby Wood Jr., Gunnar Henderson. Wyatt Langford, Jordan, Brent Rooker, Roman Anthony, Julio Rodriguez, Byron Buxton, and Brandon Nimmo. So that means our lone all-star was Justin Martinez. Definitely wanted a little bit more than that, but it's okay. In the NL, we have Casey Mize. We had Nick, Spencer Swellenbot, Logan Webb, Paul Skeens, and Shohei Ohtani. We had Brendan Barandino for the Rockies. We had Josh Swerves, Cade Smith, Pete Fairbanks, Daniel Palencia, David Bendar, and Juan Mejia. William Contreras, after he did get traded to the Reds, or I think he signed there actually, is an all-star. Gabriel Monero, Carson Kelly, Bryce Harper, Vinny Pasquantino, Alec Burleson, Bryce Strink, Xavier Edwards, Matt Chapman, Brady House, Ellie Lindor, and Connor Griffin, Juan Soto, Jackson Merrill, Justin Crawford, Kyle Tucker, Tatis, and Corbin Carroll. Let's close out our all-stars. Like I said, we did have one lone all-star. Let's do a quick midseason stat check with one of our starters that has been hurt, one of our best starters actually, David Stanley has stepped in. He has not been doing good, 0-2 with a 10.05 ERA. He probably will be sent down real quick like. Justin Robleski is somebody we traded for in the first season, not doing the best either, going 8-7 record with a 5 ERA. Hurston Waldrop holding on to a 5. That is 2-9, 4-7 for Hagen Smith on his rookie debut with a 4, and Noah Schultz with a 5.44, going 5-6. So our starting rotation has been beyond awful. And the bullpen's not been much better. It looks like Joey holding on to a 5 ERA as well. Dylan Lee with a 3.58. I'm okay with that. So Anthony Dominguez with a 2.41. That is pretty solid as well. Jake Cousins with a 6.5 will not cut it. Camilo Duvall with a 3.4. Gabe Spidler with a 2.88. Grant Taylor with a 5.72. That's pretty rough. And Jess Martinez, our lone all-star, with a 1.42 ERA. Pitch rotation's been pretty rough, but let's go ahead and check out the lineup and see if they've been any better. Ian Happ, who was our big-time free agent signing after season 1, only batting 237. He has not been very good for us since we brought him in, to be honest. He batted 267. And then we ended up signing him, thinking hopefully he'd repeat. He went 242 and 237 so far, and not been worth the money we are paying him. He does still have, especially this is his last year of his contract, though. Kyle Teal, batting 305, does not make the All-Star team, surprisingly, though, but he is platooning, so that could be part of the reason. But he's having a great season yet again. Kyle Teal, since being in this platoon route for us, going into year 3, he batted 293, 310, and now he's batting 305, so he's been a very solid platoon catcher. Colson Montgomery batting 294 with 18 home runs. Southside Samurai Murakami, 265, 24 home runs. Marcell Ozuna, honestly doing pretty good for the way he's regressing. 253, 19 home runs. I will happily take that. Jason Dominguez in the platoon roles well, batting 284. Miguel Vargas, 238. He just has not got it done. I like Miguel Vargas a lot in real life, but this is somebody that we probably will be replacing really soon because he is not developing. Sam Antonici, batting 267, has been playing second base for us ever since our other guy got hurt. And Alec Thomas is in there currently. For Luis Angel Acuna. I guess he just needed an off day or something. He is batting 136, so that's obviously not good. We end up bringing him back up. But Luis Angel Acuna is batting 182. He is also somebody else that I was really hoping would develop, and he just has not. Over his 3 seasons, 216, 214, 192. So his days of starting are probably numbered. Chase did just come back off the injury. As you can see, it's still going to be a few more days from his fractured arm, but he was batting 253 before that. Jacob Gonzalez at 235. Miguel Andujar, who has been platooning against lefties, is about 294. So he's been having a great season. And then Edgar, our platoon at catcher for lefties, is about 260. Lineup has been honestly okay. That's probably because most of our wins come from because our pitching staff has been terrible. Shout out Vaughn Grissom, by the way, starting second base in the All-Star game. But I probably will be trying to make a few moves here, so I will go ahead and show those if we do get anything made, along with any other massive trades that are made throughout the MLB. After that, I will be showing our draft signings and their potential and overalls. All right, guys, pretty big trade we have made here, as we do make a trade with the Phillies, which I don't like the Phillies at all, so I hate helping their team. But yes, this is what I've decided to do. We ended up sending off Ian Happ, who is on his last year of his contract. He's not playing very good for us. He's like $20 million a year. At this point, we're below 500 at the All-Star break. It's not looking great for our season, so we're going to trade and try to get some prospects and stuff like that. So we're going to send off Ian Happ. We're going to send off Miguel Vargas. I know I don't like this one. We had him for another 2 seasons. I really did want to keep him, but they wanted a third baseman, so it's something I feel like I had to do. Again, this has not developed for us at all. We sent off Miguel Andujar, who's on his last year of his contract. He is playing great for us, but he is 33 years old. We're probably going to let him walk after the season anyways. And then we sent off Jake Cousins, who has not also been playing good for us, 33 years old, 2 years left on his contract. In return, we brought in Evan Cooper, who's a 34 ranked prospect in the top 100, 67 overall pitcher, 22 years old with A potential. Brought in Chris Williams, 72 in the top 100, second baseman, 58 overall with B potential. And then Oren Carrig, or however you say his last name, he has 2 years left on his contract. He's 82 overall bullpen guy and is 26 years old. Somebody I plan on extending to be a lifelong White Sox. So I think this is a really great trade for us in the long term, even though it's going to hurt us initially with probably some more losses this season. All right, guys, we are officially past the trade deadline. That was the only trade we ended up making. I know there were crazy blockbuster trades ended up happening. I was going to go throw this up on the screen, though. Our Southside Samurai Murakami, we did just go ahead and extend him. His arbitration was $17 million. He had 3 years left on arbitration, but that'd have been 17. So like he only wanted 15. I only gave him a 4-year deal. I plan on him being a lifelong White Sox. So come 2032, if this franchise is still going on, we will do our best, obviously, to re-sign him. However, any other years we added, he just wanted significantly more money. He was cool with 15 for the next 4 years on the extension, though. So I just went ahead and did that. Saves us a couple million a year on the contract extension instead of doing arbitration, plus gets an extra year. Assuming it keeps going up and overall, he will eventually want more money anyways. A big thing here is if we would have extended him for like an absorbent amount of time, like even a 10-year contract, he wasn't really too thrilled about. He wanted like a 13-year deal for the 15 million a year, which would have had him until he was 40 years old. So I just did the 4-year deal and went ahead and pulled the trigger on it. So I do like that extension. As for our draft picks, honestly, really good draft. Was hoping Ken Pear, being the number 1 ranked player, would have been a potential, but he's really close, can definitely develop into a potential. And 88 is still really good. I'm glad he fell to number 11 to us. Also at a 72 overall for a starting pitcher. So that is pretty freaking good right there. Mercedo only had 77, along with Chavez only had 78. 66 and 61 overall, both of them 18 years old. They're not bad. Can definitely get up into the low Bs and develop decently well, I'm sure. And then the next two picks, talk about shots in the dark. Chip Lambert, 57 overall, but 90 potential. And Giancarlo Mendoza, 50 overall catcher with 94 potential. Now, I don't know if we win the World Series in the next few years, these guys might not ever make the team, but I still think they are pretty nice draft picks. And then Jose Pinto, another shot in the dark right there. Ended up having C potential. It's low C, but it is C. So I am glad to see that as well. Really, really great draft. All right, gentlemen, we just finished the season up 79 and 83, our best record of the rebuild so far in year three. However, we still did not break 500. Our goal obviously was to get 82 wins, which would have been extremely nice because we were not too far out of the playoffs. As you can see from the standings, we were 6 games back in the division, and in the wild card, we were only 3 games back. Had we had 82 wins like we wanted, but 82 and 80 would have been tied right there with the Red Sox and the Blue Jays for a wild card spot. Unfortunately, we just did not get there. Ultimately, I mean, our team wasn't played too bad. 257 team average, 4.3 ERA team average. That's definitely not bad by no means. I mean, that's right up there with some of these guys. Um, Unfortunately, just again, team's just not ready yet. Maybe if we would have made that one trade, we might have could have got pushed into the playoffs with some of those better players. But ultimately, I think that trade's gonna help us more long term. That being said, we are still ranked 17th, which I do take pride in since we did trade some of those pieces away. So the fact that our team is still overall wise where it started at the beginning of the year, I will happily take that trade some of those pieces away that show some development in our team. And speaking of our team, here's our lineup. Cal Till did finish batting 291. He's been a staple against righties. Colson Montgomery 262, Murakami 268 with 39 bombs. 31 from Colson Montgomery, great season ball them. Jason Dominguez batted 268 with 22 bombs. Marcelo Zuna 258 with 21 home runs. He did get hurt and miss a very high chunk of the season. We ended up signing Freddie Freeman because he was in free agency. Love Freddie, but he actually was just the best hitter in the free agency. There's a couple other guys, but they wanted like a lot longer contracts. I just needed 1 year. Ended up signing Freddie, and while Zuna was hurt, he did go bat 319. So maybe I should just let him keep playing. Um, I did for a little bit, but then obviously we went back to Zuna. But yeah, so Freddie with the 319 average is pretty nice there for the DH spot. So the DH was pretty solid for us. Chase holding second base at 268 batting average. Thing with him right here is we have that new second baseman about to come in, but I think Chase is still going to have to find a spot on the team. I cannot lie. Sam batting 237 in left field, third base. We ended up bringing in Jacob Gonzalez, ended up playing again. Obviously, y'all know he started in year one if you haven't seen that. Just again a 220 average, but he's like I said, he's a great bench player for us. And Luis Angel Acuna 212 batting average. Probably really need another center fielder. I do like him, but it's just unfortunate. Edgar 267 in the platoon. And that ended up being it. We ended up letting Jason Dominguez just go ahead and bat against lefties the second part of the season. Alec Thomas did bat 227 when we brought him back up, and Raku batted 296 over his 81 at bats he had for us. We went ahead and brought him up as well. For the pitching rotation, Sean Burke did come back off injury, finished with a 4.5 ERA, 75. No Schultz with 4.65, 10 and 8. Justin Robleski with 4.76, 12 and 11. Hagen Smith with 7.14, unfortunately, with a 4.7. And then Hurston Waldrop with a 5.36, 4 and 12. Was by far our worst pitcher there. Um, David Sandlin, we ended up bringing him up to be the long reliever later in the season with a 4.78 ERA. Dylan Lee with a 2.83, and I believe we did extend him as well. Yes, we did extend him on a 3-year contract for $7 million a year. So Anthony Dominguez with a 2.71. Oren Kernkeg, I don't know how you say his name. Let's call him OK. OK with a 3.6 ERA. Camilo Doval with a 2.94, Gabe Spiller with a 3.82, Grant Ted with a 4.46, and then Justin Martinez, our lone all-star, we ended up trading for to be our closer with a 1.57 ERA, 43 saves. Unbelievable season from him. As for awards, we will go ahead and jump into this. MVP in the AL was Nick Kurtz. Cy Young is Joe Ryan. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with batting title. Justin Martinez with the Reliever of the Year award for us. I think this is our first big-time award that we have actually won. James Tibbs was Rookie of the Year. Corey Seager was Hank Aaron Award. As for the rest of these awards, I'll go ahead and quickly flip through them. Kyle Till, backup Silver Slugger. In second place, runner-up behind Cal Riley. Murakami was third for first base. And in the end, now Kyle Tucker takes home MVP, just beating out Ellie and Rafi. Paul Skeens with the Cy Young, Kyle Tucker with the batting title, Cade Smith, Reliever of the Year. Carson Rukfada with Rookie of the Year. Um, good for the Rockies, Kyle Tucker, thank you, an award. And then here's the rest of the awards. That being said, let's get ready to send these playoffs. Let's go ahead and start off with predictions. Starting in the top left corner, New York versus Boston. Give me Boston dropping off the Yankees. Detroit versus Toronto. Give me Detroit taking it, but either way, they lose to Baltimore. Baltimore moves on to the ALCS in my mind. And I hate to go with the favorites, but Seattle knocks off Boston, and Seattle goes back to the World Series. On the other side of the bracket, I got Pittsburgh taking down San Diego, but then losing to the Dodgers. Atlanta knocks off Cincy, But Chicago beats Atlanta. Chicago beats the Dodgers, and Chicago wins the World Series. I think Chicago made some pretty good moves during the season, so that's what I am going with. Let's go ahead and sim it and find out. The Orioles actually won the World Series, defeating the Dodgers. See how we did on our bracket. New York did knock off Boston and Seattle. My bad, New York. Baltimore did move on to the ALCS, like I said. Detroit did knock off Toronto, but Baltimore ends up taking down New York. On the other side of the bracket, Pittsburgh did win. Atlanta did lose to Cincy. Chicago knocked them off though, and knocked the Dodgers off like I predicted. I'm sorry, the Dodgers knocked the Cubs off, and then Baltimore 4-1 over the Dodgers right after getting rid of Adley Rutschman too. That's crazy. So, out of curiosity, I'm gonna go look at their team. Gunnar Henderson. I guess they have Samuel, so he quickly replaced Gunnar. For the most part, this looks like the team that they still have. So they do have Roki now, and they also have Adrian Morejon. So a couple additions right there. Yep, good for them. That being said, that does end our season. We'll quickly go look at the World Series MVP was Kobe Mayo. ALCS MVP was Jordan Westbury. NL was Alec Bohm. At this point, we will go ahead and advance to the offseason. Chris Sale goes into the Hall of Fame as a White Sox. I wish I would have went and gotten him for his last season. That'd have been really cool to have him. I think he actually was in free agency last year too. I just didn't think about it. So it is unfortunate that I would have very much liked to have him for his last year. But he does retire as a White Sox, so it's cool to see. And the offseason gets kicked off with a bang as Hunter Goodman, our main piece from the Rockies rebuild, gets traded from the Rockies to the Brewers, along with Tyler Freeman and Peter Lambert. In return, the Rockies did get Emmanuel Chavez and Freddie De La Rosa. I guess some prospects right here, and then Christian Yelich, of all people. Mason Miller gets traded to the Braves for AJ Smith-Shawver, aka AJ Smith-Shawver. Great trade for the Braves. Honestly, not a terrible trade for the Giants if they really need a starter, but and he's only 26, but great trade for the Braves there. Macau Garcia gets traded to the Dodgers. Hate that. Seeing them go to the Dodgers. A bunch of prospects here in return. Ryan Walker and Anthony Santander get traded from the Giants to the Mariners for a couple prospects. Logan Webb signs a 4-year deal with the Brewers. Andres Munoz signs a 5-year contract with the Mets. Brent Rooker gets traded from the A's to the Cubs, along with some top prospects and some other pieces sent back to the Cubs. A lot of crazy stuff going on this offseason. Ronald Acuna Jr. signs a 9-year, $370 million contract with the Tigers. It's a crazy signing right there. I'm going to go ahead and warn y'all, this might be the third season in a row we have not been able to do much in free agency. Every person I seem to put on my board has no interest in coming to the South Side. I have a couple people on there right now that are pretty top guys that have about low 40% interest. So I have to send about another 2 weeks to get them above 50 where I can't offer them. So if anybody else offers them before that, I'm going to miss them and I'm going to be irritated. So hopefully at least one of them gives me the chance to sign them. Hunter Brown signs a 6-year deal with the Mariners. Zach Geloff traded to the Dodgers as well, along with Justin Sterner. Ended up trading Braden Montgomery, who was one of our prospects away. Actually, he's up to 74 overall now. His arm strength's crazy. The rest of them still hasn't developed too well just quite yet. He's up to 25 years old now, along with Alex Freeland, their second baseman. That's also pretty young, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So honestly, pretty fair trade, to be fair. Riley Green does sign with the Reds. This is one of the guys we were going after. I know I had him briefly in the A's rebuild. I was hoping to kind of get him right here to redeem him because for some reason he just regressed so bad in that one, or in the Angels rebuild. Unfortunately, we cannot. I have one other player that I'm going after. I'm just praying I can offer him at this next sim. 6 years, $28 million a year. Could sign over there for the Reds. This could be so massive for our team. We need this so bad. He's one of the top players left in free agency. Please. Oh my gosh, no. 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 And he signs with the Cubs. He goes to Chicago, but he goes to the Cubs instead of the White Sox. Are you God, guys? I offered him 7 years, 24 mil a year. So, a little bit more than the Cubs did money wise, and an extra 3 years to get CJ Abrams on this team. And the worst part is he goes to Chicago, but signs with the freaking Cubs. This is so upsetting. This is so unbelievably upsetting. I just cannot get anybody to sign with this team. And I've had this guy on my board since the beginning. Let him get all the way to 50% where I could offer him. He was at like 52%. Got an offer on him, got a +5 bonus, and then I upped the offer to where he had a 60% interest on the sign-in. I was praying that was enough, and he goes to the freaking other team in Chicago. That just pisses me off. Tyler Glasnow signs a 2-year deal with the Mariners. Quick pause in free agency with the draft lottery. We do have the 12th overall pick as of right now. Maybe we can jump up like some of these other teams have the past couple years. We do not. We actually dropped one spot. Angels do end up number one. See, Mets, the second time the Mets had the number one overall pick 2 years ago, jumped like 9 spots. This time they jumped 14 spots against the number 3 overall pick. It's just crazy. With number 13 pick in the draft. And we do sign Nolan Gorman. This is our first signing that's been even sort of decent, realistically, from free agency. Everything else we've done, we've had to trade for and then re-sign people, realistically. So we do sign Nolan Gorman. I think I had him in the Rockies franchise too, but that's kind of irrelevant. We did need a third baseman. So this adds that for us. We end up signing him on a 4-year contract, and we get him decent amount cheaper too, 9.9 million a year, basically call it 10 million a year, about 3 3.3 mil cheaper per year than what he wanted, but we do get him for a couple extra years. He is 28 years old, so we'll have him until he's 32 on a 4-year contract. Pretty happy with that signing. It's not C.J. Abrams, but it is a pretty good signing. George Kirby signs an 8-year contract with $267 million with the Blue Jays. It's a big contract right there. Gunnar Henderson signs an 11-year contract for almost $400 million with the Dodgers. Dodgers are loaded. Very unfortunate. Byron Buxton signs a 1-year contract for $44 million a year with the Yankees. Good signing for them if they go out and win the World Series with them. All right, guys, and we finally signed somebody else. 80 overall, Ryan McMahon. Probably comes in and be our DH between him or Nolan Gorman. Just a 1-year contract for $9 million. Yeah, guys, it's been a rough free agency yet again. Nobody's interested. And then it's like then I finally get guys, I'm start making offers to them, and they just want a lot of money or a lot of years for guys that just generally are not worth it. And then I still offer to them sometimes, and they still don't sign. So it's this White Sox one has been rough, man. This one has been rough, but we are clawing our way. We are developing players. Welcome to the team, Ryan McMahon. All right, guys, here we are at the start of season number 4. We are closing out year number 3. We just finished off the off season. As you can see, we went nowhere in our ranking. It is quite unfortunate, but I'm just really struggling to get people to sign. So we are just having to go play the long game and just develop players. We'll eventually probably make some trades, sending some prospects away once we start getting competitive. I'm just waiting to get to that All-Star break and seeing we're above 500 to start making some moves for the team instead of moves for trading for prospects. Um, that being said, here's our lineup going into the next season. We have Jason Dominguez kind of being our everyday right fielder. He's just going to have to learn how to hit against lefties a little bit. Kyle Teal will be still holding down the catcher spot for us. Outside Samurai Murakami at first. Colson Montgomery at short. Nolan Gorman is at third. Stephen Vargas, we actually moved him out to left field. He's our top prospect. I'm going to give him a shot out in left field. Pavin Smith is the guy we ended up signing. We did sign Ryan McMahon originally to DH, but we actually just DFA'd him. I know it's kind of a waste of money, but I decided just to platoon the DH spot. So maybe he'll get sent out to AAA or somebody will pick him up. But if somebody gets hurt, maybe we'll bring him back up. We'll figure it out. But Pavin Smith hits righties pretty well, so we are going to platoon him at DH in against righties. Chase, this is the reason we moved Stefan out to left field for the time being. Chase is still a pretty good hitter, so we're going to have him at second base. And then Luis Sanjal Acuna still hold it down for center field. Yeah, still yet to do good for us, but it's okay. Stefan, we ended up moving out to left field because he does have the higher arm strength and a little bit more speed too, so just throwing that out there. As for the left-handed lineup, we'll have Chase still and everything like that, but Edgar will be obviously platooned to catcher still. Everything else is pretty much the same. And then Miguel Andahar, who we ended up bringing back again, is going to be the platoon at DH against lefties with Pavin Smith against righties, Dominguez, and then Acuna closing us out. We also have Raku, who we had brought up last year, who plays every outfield position and second base on the bench, along with Sam, who we were originally going to play at left field, but ultimately decided just to not. And then, of course, the 2 platoons with Kyle Till, Pavin Smith, and whatnot. Pitch rotation, again, couldn't really get anybody to sign. Sean Burke is still an 85 overall. Noah Schultz up to an 82. Hagen Smith 81. Hurston Waldrop an 80. Honestly, Sean is 29. And then we got our young guys right here. Noah's 25. Hagen's 25. And Hurston's 27. So pretty young, core of pitchers right here. I really feel like we're just really missing an ace. Justin Robelski, who we did trade for, hasn't really developed too much for us. And Jonathan Cannon will be in long relief. Gabe, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Grant Taylor, Duvall, Dylan Lee, Kerry Ring, and then Justin Martinez in the bullpen. Our bullpen's actually pretty solid, all things considered. That does kind of close out our team. I feel like we just really need an ace. Our bullpen's pretty solid, like I said. I feel like we just need an ace. If we could move Justin to long relief and then bring in like an ace, that'd be so great. In our lineup, I feel like we are just kind of missing a couple superstars. I don't mind Jason Dominguez out and right. I like our catcher situation. Everybody kind of through here. I'm okay with Nolan Gorman at third base. I think, Stefan and Chase, I'm even fine with there. I think we just need like a solidified, maybe third baseman, or that way we can move Gorman to DH. Just a different position to move somebody to DH and another outfielder. And I think our team would take a big step forward. That being said, that does close this out. Hopefully, we'll be trending upwards next season. I'm looking forward to it. So stay tuned for episode number 4 of this White Sox Rebuild. It should be coming out this coming Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. But y'all have a great day. Peace out.